RockRevolt Magazine. We're sitting here with Butcher Babies. Tell people who you are.
Hey, I'm Carla. I'm also Carla. Just kidding. I'm
Carla and Heidi.
Yes.
And we're going to ask you guys some questions. Particularly, I want to ask you, let's let you know, I told you you're an artist. Other than this, you do lots of art. And myself as an artist is always getting arrested for his artwork. Like a couple weeks ago, I was arrested for being a zombie. I've been arrested for saying I was a motherfucker. I've been arrested for saying jokes, go to court all the time. And he's really big into Robert Mapplethorpe, like Robert Mapplethorpe stuff. I want to know what you think about artist censorship, particularly. Like as a band that's kind of been pushing the boundaries, what do you think about artist censorship?
I mean, obviously that's been something that's been happening for years and years and years, and I understand it because not everything is for everyone's eyes. But that's the purpose of art, is to make you think, disturb you a little, and like I said, just make you think. But I do think that some things aren't ready. Some people aren't ready.
Do you feel like a lot of artists are censoring themselves today because of this whole political correct agenda that's kind of like overwhelming everything?
I mean, it's unfortunate if they are, but I think that, you know, especially with the political stuff, so many people are so afraid to offend people, which is, it's unfortunate, it really is, because everyone's offended by everything nowadays, no matter what you do.
And there's a difference between pushing
People
the
are
envelope
probably
and just
really
being an outright asshole.
There's a death metal band who could be put to death for blasphemy.
Which is crazy.
And if they are charged with blasphemy, then it is a death sentence over there.
And it is crazy, but at the same time, you're talking about a place that has a very rigid culture, and you know when you're part of that culture, you know that pushing the envelope in that culture might get you in that situation. So
but,
it's a risk that you take, and as an artist, I think that we feel the need to take risks. True artists, you have to push.
Yeah. Well, on that note, taking risks. How do you guys feel this tour is different than your last one? Like, what's the vibe currently going on right now?
Completely different fan base. You know, that's the one great thing about our band, is that we've gotten the opportunity to tour with so many different kinds of bands. So virtually every single tour, we've hit a different fan base, and
but they all react the same,
yeah.
which is incredible. You know, something that we see with metal is that regardless if you think you're a black metal fan or you think you're a southern metal fan, really metal fans are just metal fans.
Metal. What is it that you do particularly you think that gets you more fans, or has people want to interact with you, want to be your fans?
High energy.
I think people want to go to a show and they want to feel something. They want to feel something. And we do invoke emotion, and that's something.
Especially with art that pushes the boundaries. Some might argue. No, yeah, I'm serious. I was like, you guys
No,
are cool.
I do think of our band as art. I think of a lot of bands as art, as live art. You know, it's all the same.
I mean, as a female-led band, do you believe that's an advantage or a disadvantage to you in the industry? Many people argue is predominantly male. Do you think that's a? I mean, what do you even think about a question like that? I was reading that question, I was thinking like,
but no, let me tell you something. That question pops up in every, without fail, every single interview.
I mean, it seemed like it pissed me off. Like I asked that question 1,000 times.
No, here's the thing: is that we're not a female band, and that's it's interesting that people try and put us
in this female band.
They try and put us in this bucket of, oh, you're female fronted, and we're all the same.
Guys, who would you want to perform with if you could perform with anybody?
Gosh, I mean, there's so many bands that we love. We all of us in the band come from different backgrounds of metal. My dream would be to tour with a bunch of the big old four bands, Slayer, Anthrax, those kind of bands. Pantera reunion. I think we could all agree on Slipknot, Rammstein.
See, we've played with, obviously not Pantera, but we've toured with Down. We've played with Hell Yeah, so a couple members there. We've played with Slipknot. We played with a lot of our heroes, and I think one of them that we really want wanted to knock off the bucket list is Rammstein, and we are playing with them in July. So we're really fucking pumped about that.
So how does that feel? I know a lot of people, I mean, we literally live in a world that consistently tells people you're not good enough, you will never be good enough,
exactly.
be afraid, be insecure, don't pursue your passions. I mean, you're just sitting there saying you played with your heroes.
But that's what has happened our entire career. People still say that to us. And the thing is that from, you know, a very young age, we became fighters for different reasons in our lives. And always being told no, and I feel like everyone in this band, we're driven by the no. And we've had this conversation so many times. It's like we're driven by the fact that people say, you're not good enough. And oh, really? Well, we'll get good enough then. You know, and to sit here and you know, rattle off all those names that are our heroes, it's so surreal. And sometimes it's interesting because we don't get a moment to really step back and look at that and give ourselves and each other high fives, because it's always like pushing against that.
We should do that right now. Let's
Have fun to that. Rammstein in July. No better feeling really than looking directly into someone's face while you're screaming your lyrics and they're screaming it back at you. There's no better feeling, and you can see the emotion on their faces, and just seeing how something that we created affects them, our art, if you will, and just watching that live, watching that emotion live, there's no better feeling than that. So sometimes the small intimate venues are the best.
By being told no, you've been driven by being told.
Honestly, I think, you know, all of us have worked in this band. We're kids that wanted to play music no matter what the cost was. I think at our very first show, though, see, Heidi and I were in a cover band before, and we found these great guys to be part of our band, and we all hit it off. But we were going to pay them to play this first show with us and see where it went. So after our very first show together, we handed the boys the money we got from the door. We had packed out this place that is now defunct called the Cat Club on the Sunset Strip. And so we got a little bit of money, and we gave it to the boys, and they all gave it back to us and said, no.
Like, let's put it into the band.
We want to invest this back into the band. And that, to me, is the second that we became a real band, not a couple of broads with some hired guns that were going to see what they could do. We became a real solid band, and 6 years later, we're such a tight unit, and it's been an amazing ride.
Feel strongly that you want to do something, fucking do it. Like Shia LaBeouf said, just
no one else is going to, you know, do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, especially in a world where people try to hold you back because they're afraid to follow their own dreams. It's like you have to be the one to get off your ass and go for it and keep pushing year after year after year, even with a ton of failures. And
it's a state of mind, right? Though it's not failure. It's like it just didn't work.
It's all a learning process. I feel like we've lived a few different lifetimes, you know, like to come to where we are today as women and as, you know, a band and all that. But all those life experiences are what makes great songs, great lyrics, great riffs. When it becomes real to them, when they come to a show, a big show, people are screaming their heads off, it becomes real, and they're like, hey, they're okay, they want to go do this.
They're not out there just like, you know, just spinning their wheels. They're out there actually doing something. They wanted to do this,
they had a dream, and they actually made it happen. I mean, how satisfying for a parent is that, though? You know, we were kids, like I said, that grew up in the pit, wanted to be musicians. Our parents knew we wanted to be musicians, so how gratifying is it for them to stand back and watch us perform in front of hundreds of people? That must be such a great moment for a parent.
It was
how could they not be proud?
Yeah, it was so cool that we just played in Salt Lake City, and my dad shot the show. Like, you know, my dad is in the film business, so he's got cameras galore, and he's like there with his lenses, like taking pictures and stuff, and I was like, that's just so cool. Like, I'm on stage screaming, and there's my dad in the photo pit with other photographers taking pictures, and I thought that was really cool. But it's something that we are so lucky within this band is that we, all five of us, all of our parents are like parents to the rest of us too. I know for a fact I could call any of their moms or dads and be like, I need this, and they would do it, and vice versa. And that's it's really cool. It really is a family unit.
What's a question you want people to ask you?
Oh God,
Like-
see, that's a difficult question right there. I want someone to ask me that.
You're.
Oh no. I used Crest toothpaste this morning, and I actually got a shower today, so it's nice.
Well, that's a win.
I'm waiting for mine still after the show.
Just
All right, cool.
keep those arms
Well,
closed.